Alrighty, guys, so it's about 10 a.m. right now on the East Coast, and the markets all across the board are selling off. The Russell's down 1%. We have the NASDAQ down 1.4% as the S&P's down 0.5%, and we have the Dow selling off the least. Surprise, surprise, guys. That's typically how it is. Not always, but a lot of the time, that's how it is. The Dow only down right now about 0.1% as the VIX is up 3.5%, and we have gold also up 0.4% on the day as silver is down 0.4% after having a ridiculously strong day. If you guys caught it yesterday, silver, I think at one point was up 4%, something crazy. And right now we have Ethereum selling off 6.5%. It's right at about 1685. And we have Bitcoin hovering just about above 23,000 bucks. It's down 4.5%. So we are selling off across the board in the markets. And we actually talked about this a little bit yesterday on my YouTube channel, if you caught it. In the beginning of the video, last night's video, we talked about the bearish divergence on SPY. You can see here the RSI has been weakening since the end of July, heading into the second day of August, right? As the overall ETF was still trucking along, trending up. So it was trending up as the move was becoming weaker, right? RSI was going down, ETF was going up. That is a bearish divergence. And now we're starting to see SPY give a little bit. You know, it broke under 413. We're now going down, it looks like, to test the lows from not yesterday, but the trading day before, being about 409, 410. I'll draw it out. You guys can see it. If we start getting selling pressure, and mind you, we're already under the 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. If we start getting selling pressure under, let's say, the lows from 2 trading days ago, we start going down from that point to the lows from last week, probably around 407. If that were to break 407, guys, we have a decent gap on the downside to fill, probably towards 393 on the lower end, 395, 393, probably towards 400, 402 is where I could see this going on the lower end. And we're not fully there yet, obviously, but we are starting to see the signs. You know, the bearish divergence, like I've been saying, you're starting to see the 50 SMA give here on the 4-hour chart. Now let's see what happens at 410, 407. Then from there, we might start getting that selling pressure, guys, on the downside, or the continued selling pressure, and then that would be a big spot for the bulls. That would be a spot where the bulls would need to come in, and you know, if they respect the uptrend, they got to come in and buy that up. And if we get selling pressure through the 180 SMA, then things might get bloody again. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. But we got to just be mindful of that stuff, right? And Triple Q, I'm sure it's the same. Let's pull it up. Triple Q tracks the NASDAQ 100. You guys know, yeah, it's the same. You know, it's starting to give a little bit. We are noticing the bearish divergence. I called that out yesterday in my night video, like I said on YouTube. And now it is starting to give under the 50 SMA, and we're actually already under the lows from, it looks like, yesterday and the trading day before that, and now we're going down to test the lows from the 2nd of August, being about, at least that's the next main support I'm seeing, being about 311, 312 roughly. You know, that's where this could be going on the downside, maybe 313 even. So this is starting to sell off, and if we break under 311, 312, this could probably start going down towards the 180 SMA. Now, is it going to go straight down to about 300? It could. I mean, never say never, but I'm looking more for probably a sell-off towards 305-ish. That's if it were to break again under 311, 312. So watch out for it, guys. Let's see how this selling ends up playing out over the course of today and, of course, for the rest of the week. But we're really going to be focusing on today, as we are starting to see an increase in the VIX, which you guys know I've been talking about the VIX a lot. I talk about it a lot on the channel, on Patreon. So you can see here, VIX is up 4% right now, and we're noticing it's more towards the bottom of the range that it's been in over the course of this year, 2022. You guys can see the bottom has been about 20 on the VIX since January, early mid-January, and the top has been anywhere from 30 to 35, upwards of almost 40 on the VIX. So now we're at 22. We're well on the bottom, near the bottom of the range, And, the VIX is not completely exploding yet like it did back in the middle of June, like it did in the middle of April, heading into the early days of May. It's not doing that yet, but it's creeping up a little bit today, and we shall see again those key levels on SPY Triple Q. If those start to give on the downside, we're probably going to get that, we will at that point get a big VIX spike. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Hit that like button. I might upload this onto YouTube because I feel like this is very important for the viewers, not only for the Patreon members, but for all the viewers. And typically I, make these for the Patreon members exclusively, but sometimes I do upload the morning videos onto YouTube. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you're on YouTube watching this, Patreon, let me know your thoughts. As always, these markets are very interesting, guys. Very, very interesting. So let's go over some of these earnings. We have Norwegian Cruise Line this morning, which is down 12% as I'm making this video. That is awful. This thing is down, under the moving at. Well, it's actually fighting above the 180, but pretty much it's probably going to break. It's under the 50. It's holding on by a thread above the 180. So it looks like they lost $1.14 on the quarter. Let me see what the estimate on that was. They lost $1.14 on the quarter versus the, 86-cent loss estimate. So they missed like crazy on EPS there, and that's adjusted, by the way. And they missed on revenue, $1.2 billion versus $1.26 billion. And let's see here. They see Q3 sales of $1.5 to $1.6 billion versus the $1.88 billion estimated. So yeah, the guidance is bad. They double missed. Occupancy in the low 80% range, which, I guess that's decent. Pretty good. Decent. I don't know what's 90. Of course, 100% occupancy range would be great. So I guess low 80s. Let's just say it's better than what it was a year or two ago, right, guys? So this is falling really on that guidance, in my opinion. Low revenue guidance, the double miss, it's not looking good. But now that I'm looking at it, yes, I did say it's holding on by a thread and it might collapse, which it could easily collapse here. But now that I'm looking at it again, we are also at the bottom of this channel. So if the bulls want any sort of fighting chance, they obviously have to step in here at about $11.50, $12, which as of now, it looks like on the intraday chart, we're not finding buying pressure quite yet, but maybe it comes later on today at some point as the day progresses, because it's only 10 o'clock, guys. The market's just opened 30 minutes ago. So watch and see what happens with this one. They didn't report the best earnings. Guidance is crap, but it doesn't mean the stock can't move. You'd be surprised. This could be back over $13 tomorrow for all we know. So watch out for NCLH. You also have to watch Spirit Airlines, guys, ticker symbol SAVE. They just reported, and this stock has been very flat lately, at least the past couple of weeks, and they just got bought out by, or they're merging with, I forget what it was, JetBlue or something like that. Yeah, JetBlue. Either way, we're not going to talk about that. They ended up reporting this morning, Spirit Airlines did. They did, it looks like here, negative 30 cents on an adjusted EPS basis versus negative 42. So they ended up beating on EPS, and they beat on revenue, $1.37 billion versus $1.34 billion. And it sees Q3 pre-tax margins negative 1% to positive 1%, okay? They see Q2 average fuel cost per gallon, $4.30 versus $1.95 a year ago. Oh my God, look at that. Fuel costs have more than doubled for Spirit Airlines. Makes sense. And they see Q3 fuel cost per gallon about $3.55 to $3.60, so that's coming down a little bit, which makes sense. Oil's been coming down. I know you guys have realized in your areas, wherever you live, gas prices have been coming down. So for me, guys, I'm looking at Spirit more as a trade. I'm not going to buy any airline as a long-term investment. It's just not my cup of tea. But as a trade, I would definitely consider it, especially as there is some, not hype, but there is news around the JetBlue merger. this is definitely going to be a catalyst in the future to move the stock in either direction. So let's see what happens. You can see we're in a wedge right now. Let's see what direction we end up picking here on Spirit Airlines. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments as always, guys. And I think we had EVgo report this morning as well. Let me double check. Yeah, they did. They reported. So let's see what they did. It looks like they had a 6-cent profit, which is not bad. I mean, considering last quarter they lost money. So they made money this quarter, 6 cents, on revenue of $9.08 million versus the $10.81 million estimated. And it looks like they reaffirmed their 2022 revenue outlook, which is good. Some companies raise revenue, some companies cut, which is not good. Others reaffirm. So at this point, let me just clear the drawing set. What we're noticing here is, you could say it's an inverse head and shoulders, but another thing that I'm noticing is kind of an ascending triangle forming. You guys see this? If I draw the resistance out at about 10:20, zoom in a bit, we see the uptrend over the past couple of weeks. So we do have a bit of a triangle. It momentarily played out, or started to play out, when the earnings came out earlier today. The stock was over $11, guys. Now we're under $9. So it played out. The breakout didn't last long at all. Now we're back under the resistance. We have to see a retest at $10. So if we do break 10, this might be running up again, but we're just not quite there yet. So in the meantime, I'm going to set my alert. Mark is at or above $10, and we'll see what happens at that point on EVgo in the meantime. So it looks like they made a profit, but again, they missed on revenue, which is not good for a company that, I'm assuming, I haven't done much research into it, but they're only making $9 million on revenue, guys. This is a growth company. They should be growing and beating revenues. They're missing revenues. That is not a good sign. So what do you think about these stocks? It looks like the markets are still selling off, and my watch list right now, guys, is not looking good. All the stocks, for the most part, are red, other than, wow, we have oil moving up today. XLE's up, which is an energy ETF. This is up 3%. So the bears are dominating today when oil's up, when energy stocks are up. Guys, look at that. Crude oil is up 1.5% on the day, back over 92 a barrel. You can see here we broke down to about 88. Got a bit oversold. Now we filled the gap back to about 92, 93 a barrel where we are now. This is going to be a big test, a big spot for the bulls, right? If bulls could break through the 50 SMA here on the 4-hour and 92, 93 bucks, which is a resistance, then we could start making a move back towards mid-high 90s. The next gap would be about 98, 100 bucks a share. So let's see. What are the bulls going to do here in the lower mid-90s on crude oil? And let's see some of these other energy stocks quickly, because it looks like those are doing well today. XLE seems to be consolidating, or it did consolidate above the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour. Now that it's up 3%, we're starting to get a break past the 50 as well. This is good. This could be setting up. Let me draw a channel quickly, guys. Is this setting up for a move back to the 80s? It kind of looks like it is, or towards the 80s, higher 70s. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that, guys. It kind of looks like it is. So this looks like it's making a move back towards the highs from about a week, 10 days ago. 78, 80 bucks, maybe higher. We shall see. So with that being said, we're about 13 minutes in. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, I'm uploading this onto YouTube today. Typically, I only make these Patreon videos. Well, I do make them only for my top tier Patreon members. But sometimes, again, I do upload them onto YouTube. Why not? And if you want to check out the Patreon, check the link out down below. Don't forget to also get your 10 stocks from Moomoo with a $100 deposit. I'm telling you, it's free money, guys. And each of those could be up to $2,500, literally free money. And you could also get 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. And that is, those could be valued up a stupid amount of money, $30,000 or maybe more than that. All the details are linked down below, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, cheers. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you later. Peace out.